Hello, everyone. Claire Jones from Clarifications Coaching. I help badass entrepreneurs grow their businesses without burning out. This is the next video in a series where I go over some of the business tips, tools, strategies, and basically templates that I use both in my own business as well as in my clients' businesses. And today I'm going to go over one of my favorite topics, systems and processes. It is number 3 of my 3 pillars of business success. And today I'm going to specifically go over company structures, templates, task flows, and position responsibilities, essentially, and how you can map these out systematically so that everyone knows what they're supposed to be doing, when they're supposed to be doing it, and who they're supposed to collaborate in order to do that. So I'm going to start with a big picture view, basically start with the big overarching company structure, and then we're going to narrow it down into specific task frequencies based on position. And you can kind of see how you can zoom in and zoom out on these types of systems and get down to the nitty-gritty details. And often people want to start with the details and then build out to the bigger picture because they have a better concept of what they do on a day-to-day basis than how it all works into the bigger picture. So I'm going to zoom in and zoom out on this video to show you how to really get a good handle on how to systemize this and make processes for all of these. And so this is something that I often recommend for people who are looking to do succession planning or overall position planning for their businesses. And these are templates that I developed in a previous company that I was working with. They were a dog walking company. And so you will see that these company structures and positions are very specific to a dog walking company, but you can basically edit and create your own based on these templates. So on the first screen here, we have the template of the company structure. And as you can see, it's just a general Excel document. You can make it in pretty much any program, whether it's PowerPoint or even Canva, you can make it in any type of Word document, but I like spreadsheets. I like to color code. So this is how I created it. And at the top, you can see we have the CEO. And then I also have listed under each position the supporting documents that you need for each position, which is basically the department system as well as the CEO task frequencies and position agreements. I'm not going to go over position agreements today, but that's more of an HR kind of consideration when you're hiring. But I'll go over the task frequencies so that you can see how to best support their role so that they know what they need to do, when they need to do it, and who they need to collaborate in order to get it done. And so at the top, we have on the level 1, which is the executive level, the CEO. And his supporting documents or her supporting documents are going to be the executive department system and the CEO task frequencies. And so I have linked these. This is in a previous Google Drive that I made these in. So these links are no longer active. They are just moot, but you get the point, as in you can link it to that particular document. So then people don't need to go searching around for it and waste time trying to track it down. On the second level here, we have the director's level. And so that includes the director of operations, the director of dog training, and the director of finance, and the director of development. And so each of these positions also has supporting documents underneath them, including the department systems and the director of whichever department they are, their task frequencies list. And so then you can see on the level 3, which is supervisor level, who the directors are directly supervising. And so this includes assistant supervisors, human resources supervisor, team supervisor, billing supervisor when you get into the finance department, bookkeeper, and payroll supervisor. And then once you get to the development department, marketing supervisors. And again, they have their supporting documents with the links to those particular documents in case they need to look them up and find them on a easy to find basis. Level 4 is the assistant/coordinator level. And so this includes quartermasters, scheduling coordinators, assistant walker trainers, new client coordinators, and office and operations assistants. And so again, these are positions that are particular to the dog walking company. And so this might change based on what kind of business you're building yourself. And this is probably going to be on a much smaller scale when you're starting out because you're not going to have that many positions. But if you divide up your tasks based on what you do on a day-to-day basis, you'll have a better idea of what positions you need to hire for if you have a list of tasks already made. And so in the dog training department, we have assistant dog trainers. In the development department, we have social media coordinators, the webmaster, and the events coordinator. And then finally, level 5 is the lowest level, and that is the doc czar and the walkers. And so this particular company had funny names for some of the positions that they required. And so doc czar was one of those positions. That's the person that is basically in charge of maintaining all of the company documents and making sure that all of the documents were up to date and proofread and had all of the relevant information that they needed, because this was an entirely remote business. And so everyone was basically checking in on a day-to-day basis through online means. And so either through Google Drive or through Basecamp, which is how they managed all of their company communications and company tasks and project management. And so Basecamp's a great app for that if you're interested in it. And that's how you can translate some of these structures into a more kind of task-based application. So if you're familiar with Asana will do something similarly. Trello, you can make something like this in Trello, or Monday.com. There's a lot of different apps out there that you can use to systemize these structures in a way that reminds people of the tasks that they have. But this is a way to get a big picture view of what everything, what everyone's working on. So I am going to zoom in here so that we can see particular details. I'm going to show you the development department today because that's the one that I was in charge of while I was at that company. And I have most of the supporting documents for that. So as you can see, again, we have the director of development. Underneath is the marketing supervisor. It could be the marketing manager, all kinds of different names. Social media coordinator, webmaster. This is the person that's in charge of the website, and events coordinator. And so when you're making these department systems, you can have instructions for how they are structured. And so there's the big department systems folder. This is where everything is housed on the Google Drive. And then each department has their own folder. So the operations department has their own folder. The dog training department has their own folder. The finance department has their own, and the development department has their own. And within each of these folders, they have the department, within this big department systems folder, the supporting docs that are available are the department systems instructions, the proposed company structure with supporting documents, which we just looked at, the business systems template outlines and statuses, and then a template for task frequencies and a template for the position agreement. Again, I'm not going to go over the position agreements today, but this is an easy way to keep these kind of templates available and easily accessible for when you need to duplicate them and fill them in with specific position responsibilities. And then within each of the department folders, they have a departmental position title folder. And so, for example, in the development department, there would be a director of development folder. There would be a marketing manager folder. There would be a social media coordinator folder. And within each of those, you would have the system outline for the department and the task frequencies for the department within that overall department folder. And then within each of these department position title folders, you would have supporting documents, so whatever documents they need for that position, and then a position agreement documents package. And so that includes the welcome page, which introduces the position, including a summary of where it fits within the company and why it is important to the company, the stated objective or desired result of the position, the person's start date in the position, and their supervisor's name. So they have all of that information available right within their position title folder. And so if they ever have questions about their position, where they fit within the company, they can go to that folder and see all these documents there available for their viewing. And they also have the position task frequencies page. And so this is the detailed list or outline of all tasks required of the position with their frequencies, due dates, and collaborators where applicable. And then they have the management support task frequencies page as well, which is a detailed list outline of the task and frequencies applicable that the management team will accomplish in support of this position. And so how will they be supported by the management team, and what tasks should they expect the management team to complete in support of their position? And then a signature page. And so that includes a statement that the team member has read, understands, and accepts all the duties and responsibilities of the position as explained in the preceding pages, with an area to sign and date. And it also includes a similar statement with that supervisor and or management team that will sign and date it and say that they're going to support that position accordingly. And so we're not really going to get into the position agreement stuff today, but we're going to go into the task frequencies because that is an important aspect of what people expect. And so if we're going down the development department today as the example, this is an outline of the development department system. So level 2 is the director of development. They are underneath the CEO. And so you can list their goals here, and you will include the director of development position agreement, the task frequencies, and then the supporting documents. So they'll need the system, they'll need their budget, they'll need their plans and goals calendar, and then they'll also need access to the master company calendar. How do they schedule out their tasks? How do they budget out their tasks? Stuff like that. Level 3 is the marketing supervisor. And so this is where you also list their goals in the company. They have their position agreement, they have their task frequencies, and then they have their supporting documents. So the calendar of marketing initiatives that they're planning on doing, the monthly marketing efforts report, so reporting back to management as to how their marketing efforts are going, their quarterly marketing efforts report, marketing materials request form, template, and master sheet. So this is if they are requiring materials from other people within the company and they need to request those materials from them by a certain date. This is a form template that they can use in order to request them. Event report master sheet. So if reporting on how the events and the marketing initiatives went for that month or for that year. Competitor analysis, so what competitors are in your market and how you compare to them. Marketing initiatives and feasibility studies. So if you are proposing a certain marketing initiative and you need to check if it's feasible or not, this is where it would go. And then client satisfaction metrics. So how satisfied are your clients actually with your products or services? And this is really detailed, and this is a very established business. So this is a business that had been in business for about 7 years, I think, when I was hired on. And I was hired on to help create all of these structures for them because they were kind of running around like chickens with their heads cut off, putting out fires on a day-to-day basis. And they really needed these systems and processes put into place so that they could really know what they were doing and how to plan for the future. And so level 4, social media coordinator, their goal was to increase revenue and client engagement through the use of social media. And that also included their position agreement and their task frequencies doc. Supporting documents included their social media content calendar, their weekly engagement and report, how their engagement metrics were doing on the various social media platforms on a week-to-week basis, monthly social media efforts report, quarterly social media efforts report, and marketing materials request form. So if they needed pictures, for example, from the walkers of their dogs, they needed to request those pictures by a certain date so that they could complete their tasks in a timely manner. New client coordinator or assistant. These are their goals listed here. Just put in whatever you want. Position agreement, task frequencies, supporting documents, they were TBD. We hadn't really fleshed out that position that much yet, so it has space to do so. events coordinator to increase revenue and client and staff engagement through the creation and execution of memorable events. So they have a position agreement, they have task frequencies, and then their supporting documents include the events calendar, the events reports, the monthly events efforts report, and the quarterly event efforts report, and a marketing materials request form as well. So the webmaster, their goals would be listed here, position agreement, task frequencies, and supporting documents as well. And as you can see, I was also using this as a task tracker. So here were TBD tasks, here were in progress tasks, here were tasks that were done, and I color coded it so I can scroll through it and see, okay, so I need to pay attention to the blue and the green ones, and the purple ones can be forgotten for now. And this is also something that can be set up in an app like Asana or Basecamp so that you can track the progress of those tasks and the creation of these things in a place where everyone can access them. And so this was really important, again, because the company was completely remote. And so we didn't really get a chance to check in with each other on a day-to-day basis and everything. So if you were wondering how something was coming along, you could come check this document and be like, all right, so this is still in progress. These are done though, so we can move on. And so when we're going into the specific task frequencies docs, this is what a task frequency template looks like. So it's basically a table of all of the tasks that you're responsible for in a certain position. And on the left-hand side, we have the frequency, and then we have what the task is, and then we have supervised by and assigned to. So on a daily basis, we would have supervision, creation, review, and publication of promotional materials, included printed and non-printed items such as flyers, business cards, social media posts, event promotions, etc. So that is an example of something that would be a daily task for the all marketing positions. And it would be supervised by the marketing manager. So you know who it's being supervised by and you know who it's being assigned to. On a weekly or bi-weekly basis, you could have a task, for example, weekly engagement reports detailing and measuring consumer engagement on online platforms, including social media and website data. And so this is, again, supervised by the marketing manager and assigned to the social media coordinator. On a monthly basis, an example task would be preparation, review, and publication of monthly email newsletters. And again, that's supervised by the marketing manager, but it's also assigned to the marketing manager. So on a quarterly basis, you could have preparation and review of the previous quarter's marketing efforts and their success failure rates, as well as the brainstorming and planning of the next quarter's marketing efforts. And this could also be a monthly task, but just substitute monthly instead of quarterly for these. And that's supervised by all of the company managers. And so all of the managers within the company wanted to be involved in this at this company. And they wanted to actually have say in how the marketing efforts were going. And they wanted to be able to brainstorm new marketing efforts alongside the marketing manager. And so this was assigned to all marketing positions because the social media coordinator and the webmaster and the event coordinator had to submit their data for the quarter to the marketing manager so that they could prepare this report for the company managers. And then on a yearly basis, there would be, for example, brainstorming, preparation, and planning of marketing opportunities and needs for the year in accordance with company objectives and goals. And this would be supervised by the company managers and assigned to all marketing positions. And then as needed tasks at the bottom here would be creation, review, and preparation of pre and post-event reports detailing rates of effectiveness and success. So the company managers wanted to know if the events that they were throwing were actually successful, actually contributed to the overall company's ROI, return on investment. So if you had an event, there had to be a creation, review, and preparation of the pre and post-event reports. So pre-event report would be, for example, how many people you anticipate coming to the event, what kind of impact the event would have. Post-event reports would be actual attendance. What was the actual impact of the event? And so this was supervised by the marketing manager and assigned to the events coordinator. So that's an example of what would be included on a task frequency doc. And so over here, I have an example, what I actually made for the development department task frequencies. And so these are all of the tasks for the development department. So on a daily basis, they had insert the, obviously I hadn't completed this all the way yet, but for example, you would insert the development department tasks supervised by the director of development, insert blog tasks. So if they had daily blog tasks, this would go there, supervised by the marketing supervisor. And again, the supervision, creation, review, and publication of promotional materials, and so on and so forth. Weekly, bi-weekly, same things. The weekly engagement reports, detailing and measuring consumer engagement. We talked about that before. On a monthly basis, we had preparation, review, and publication of monthly email newsletters. We had preparation and review of the previous month's marketing efforts and their success failure rates, as well as the brainstorming and planning of the next month's marketing efforts. This company was really intent on tracking how their marketing efforts were going because they wanted to make sure that they were getting the most bang for their buck in the marketing activities that were occurring. So if they had signed on a social media coordinator, they wanted to know that the money that they were paying their social media coordinator was well spent. And so this was very much ingrained into how the company determined what to do and how to move forward. And then preparation review of the previous month's social media efforts and their success failure rates, as well as brainstorming and planning of the next month's social media efforts. And then again, same with the event efforts. And so on a month-to-month basis, they identified how the overall marketing efforts were going, how the social media efforts were going, and how the event efforts were going. And then on a quarterly basis, same thing. On a yearly basis, they had the brainstorming and preparation planning of marketing opportunities and needs for the year in accordance with company objectives and goals, brainstorming, preparation, and planning of event opportunities for the year, same with social media opportunities for the year, as well as creation of the yearly marketing budget. And then as needed, they had the post and pre-event reports, as well as the creation, review, and preparation of promotional materials per the marketing materials request forms that we talked about earlier. So as you can see over here, these are the ones that supervise the tasks, and these are the ones that were in charge of the tasks. So for example, the yearly marketing budget was assigned to the CEO because they were the one that determined how the budget was going to be allocated to the marketing department that year. But the brainstorming, preparation, and planning of social media opportunities for the year was assigned to the social media coordinator. And then same with the event opportunities. They were assigned to the events coordinator. So this is a way to take a template and really just on a day-to-day basis or a week-to-week basis, month-to-month basis, quarterly, yearly, write down whatever tasks you are currently doing. And then you can have a good idea of what tasks you can delegate, what tasks are going to be required of a new position. Do you need a social media coordinator? And they will be managed by the marketing manager. Or do you need an events coordinator? And they will be managed also by the marketing manager. So how can you divide up these tasks based on role and structure it out so that people know what they're doing, when they're doing it, and who they need to report to when they finish it or when they have problems, run into issues. It kind of divides and diffuses the accountability, essentially, of the company. Because if you rely on one person to oversee all of these things, then that person is going to become a bottleneck if everyone is coming to them with their questions. And this is what the director of operations was running into with this company. And she was just running out of time and running out of resources to give to all of these subsequent positions on a day-to-day basis. But if you set up these documents, then those positions know what they need to do, when they need to do it, and who they need to talk to in order to do it, so that the director of operations could go do her own thing and not completely micromanage all the other positions on a day-to-day basis. And so this is a way to just kind of map that out, see what you're doing, see where the holes are, and really get a good, clear picture of what tasks needed to be done and when they needed to be done by. And so everyone was really on the same page. So that clarity, that certainty, and also the autonomy is really provided there to the employees and to the staff members. And so once you have all of these task frequencies determined, you can take a week, a month, or a couple months just keeping track of all the tasks that you already do, and then determine, who you need to get to fill in those tasks. And then you can start creating this company structure. Is like, all right, so if a lot of my tasks fall under the development or marketing arm, then I need to hire more people under that arm. Or if they fall under the finance arm, maybe I need to get a bookkeeper. Maybe I need to get a payroll supervisor. Maybe I need to get a billing supervisor. And how many hours on a week-to-week, day-to-day, month-to-month basis are you spending on these tasks? And then you can determine, do I need to hire someone part-time, or do I need to hire someone full-time in order to complete those tasks? Same with the operations department. So this is a way to kind of just get a big picture view of your company structure and fill in the gaps as you're considering hiring or as you're considering delegating tasks. Like for VAs, you need to be able to tell them what to do. You need to be able to give them a structure to work in and give them guidelines and train them on how to do these things. And if they have a template of their task frequencies, then they won't have to check in with you on a recurring basis, and you can just do the things that you need to do. So that's what I wanted to go over today. I know this is very high level, and I know a lot of you aren't here yet, but it's something to work towards and something to keep in mind as you find yourself doing tasks on a daily basis, of just keeping track of them and keeping in mind who you might need to hire down the road to pick up those things for you. So I hope this was helpful. Let me know if you have any more questions or concerns or comments. I'm always happy to talk to you guys. I always love hearing from you guys. And I really just want to support you as best I can in your businesses. And if you want any of these templates, I can send you PDFs or Word docs or however you want them so that you can use them to your advantage. So let me know. That's it for today. All right. I love you all. Take care and have a good one. Bye.